Today's apartment is really special, and that's because it's in a building that only has 3 apartments in the entire building itself. And over the last 6 years, these apartments have only come up for rent 1 time each. So like, we never get to go and see stuff like this because it's just never on the market. But today we get to see a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, seconds away from Astor Place, which is the view right outside that window. And that means it's not gonna take us very long to walk there. All right, so we're on our way to the apartment, but first we have to talk about what makes Astor Place so important. Reason number 1 is convenient access to subway stations. Right here is the 6 train, and right around the corner you've got the R and the W train. This makes this whole neighborhood amazing if you're a commuter. If you've got to get uptown or downtown, these trains will take you there, and if you need to get to the west side, both trains stop at 14th Street, so you can jump on the L and get to the west side super easy. The second reason is because the buildings in this area are absolutely gorgeous. If you're a fan of pre-war New York City architecture, it's all around Astor Place. And you've got landmark buildings like the Cooper Union that I'm standing in front of, 770 Broadway, which is featured in a lot of my video introductions, and all of the beautiful buildings at Cooper Square. Speaking of Cooper Square, we are right by the Cooper Union School, and NYU is just down the street. You can get to the NYU Washington Square campus in about 10 minutes from where we are right now, and they've also got several buildings in the East Village as well. So if you're a student and you're looking to live in a neighborhood that's gonna give you a lot of space and still be downtown, this is definitely a place to check out. And overall, the whole neighborhood here has a really energetic, youthful vibe to it, and it's really popular with young professionals as well as the student crowd. And there are tons of cafes and restaurants all throughout this neighborhood, so you're never gonna run out of things to do, and you're always gonna have a blast if this is where you live. This is one of the largest places you can get in this area, period. The reason that this is such a large apartment is because it's the entire 4th floor of this building. There are no other apartments on this floor. This apartment takes up the entire thing. And what's really cool is the kitchen is right by the front door, but it's tucked away, and you basically have 2 living rooms to do whatever you want with. The first area that you have is the one that I'm standing in right now, which is near the kitchen, and this is a really, really large space. This would easily fit a couch, a TV, an entertainment center, and since it's right by the kitchen and right by the door, it would be super easy to entertain guests and hang out with friends right here. The second living room, it's right over here, all by itself. It's got 2 windows that get western exposure, and it's really up to you. If you wanted this area here to be like a dining area or a den, you could decide what to do because you've got a lot of flexibility with this space being very large. I mean, this space right here, this is about the same size as some of the living rooms you're gonna get in other 3-bedroom apartments in this neighborhood. And then you've got the whole other area over here by the front door to set up in whichever manner you think is best. Because there's so much space here, I really just feel like this apartment's gonna work for a variety of people no matter what their requirements are. If you have a certain way that you wanna set up your apartment, you can definitely do it here without issue. These vents that you can see on the ceiling, these are for the heating and cooling system. That's right, you've got central air and central heat, and it's all controlled by a thermostat. And that's not something that you get to see in a lot of East Village apartments, especially those like this that are in pre-war buildings. All right, let's take a look at the kitchen. This kitchen, it's pretty good. It's got full-size appliances, it's got lots of cabinet space, and it's got granite countertops, so the overall finish is nice. The appliances aren't super high-end, but they're functional. And all of these cabinets here are really easy to reach. You're not gonna have problems getting into these or accessing them. And they did a really good job on this apartment by putting the kitchen off to the side because, again, it just works so well with all of the space that you have here. And overall, I think this is a good kitchen. Oh, that is a lot of sunlight. This room is really bright. So 2 of the bedrooms in this apartment face 2nd Avenue. And the one that we're in right now has 2 really large windows and a nice big closet. This room will easily fit a queen-size bed, a dresser, and maybe even a small desk. And it's not really that loud either, even though it faces the street. These windows are double pane glass, and they do a pretty good job of keeping out the street noise. I don't even have to turn on the lights in this room because it's so bright. And this room really feels great, just in general. $11 by $10, that's great. This is a good room. Let's check out the room right next door and see how this one is. This second room has the same view as the room we were just in, and it gets a lot of light, and you can look out over the street corner and see the neighborhood as well. So it also feels really good. There is only one window here, but the room itself feels really large, and there's a huge closet, as you can see in the back as well. So for one person, this is also a lot of space, and you're not gonna have any issues fitting a queen-size bed in here as well. The room itself, I kind of like the shape of this room. I kind of like how there's this area over here, which is clearly for the closet by the door where it kind of swings open, and then how this other area over by the window is perfect for a bed and a nightstand. Let's measure this one as well and see what we're working with here. Now you'll notice that the closet doors have been removed from the apartment. That's because renovations are still happening. The doors are tucked away back here. This apartment's gonna be fully painted and cleaned. The doors are gonna be painted. That's why they removed them, so they can get inside this large closet and paint it. Let's take a look at the bedroom in the back of the apartment. This is definitely different than the other 2 rooms. The size is really good. This looks very similar to the room that we just looked at that also had one window facing the street. It's got a nice closet and it's also got nice sunlight, but the view here is different. It's looking out at some other buildings, and that means that this room is gonna be the quietest bedroom in the apartment. So if you're someone that really wants to minimize as much noise as you possibly can to get the best night's sleep possible, this is probably the quietest room. But because of that, the view is a little bit less exciting. That's a trade-off that you have to make to lower noise levels in your apartment. Let's get the measuring tool out here, see what we got. This room's really big as well, and you're not gonna have a problem getting a queen-size bed in here either. So I think that for 3 roommates that wanna spend similar amounts of money on rent, this is a great apartment. If you're living with people who are able to afford about the same amount of money per month as you are, it's not gonna be really hard to divide this up in 3 parts that are somewhat equal. Maybe someone wants to pay a little bit more for the street view. Maybe somebody wants to pay a little bit more for this room because it's a little bit quieter. If you rent an apartment like this, you've got options, and it's not like somebody gets a room that's way better than the other 2. And since the rooms are all equal in size, it would be really easy to split up. And another thing that makes it really easy to share this apartment is you don't just have one bathroom, you've got 2 bathrooms and they're right here. Let's take a look at them and see how they are. Okay, we're in the first room and the colors here are really interesting. Definitely East Village, but it is a full-size bath and it does have a nice full-size sink, and there's also a medicine cabinet and a fan to help air the space out. All right, let's see the other bathroom. Bum, bum. Okay, we're in the second bathroom now, and this one is a half bath, which means it's got a sink, it's got a toilet, it's got a medicine cabinet, it's got a rack for a hand towel, but it does not also have a shower or a tub. This one's also got a fan as well. And overall, that's good. Just having the 2 baths is good and makes this really convenient. And I like how they're both right here next to where the kitchen is, so that when you have guests over and you're entertaining people in this apartment, they don't have to walk throughout the apartment to get to the bathrooms. Everything's right here. And convenience is the name of the game with this apartment. It's not necessarily trying to impress anybody with its finishes, even though I think they're adequate. What's really impressive is the location. I mean, right there is Astor Place, and we're just around the corner from the apartment. This is insanely convenient and great for anyone who wants to live in a fun downtown area and do a lot of exploring and really enjoy all that Lower Manhattan has to offer. If you're interested in renting an apartment like that, my contact information is in the video description. If you want to see some more apartments, this playlist right here, this has all of my other apartment tours in it. I will see you in the next video.